Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to Sunday Strong. So glad you guys are here. My name is Stephanie Scotch, and I am in Birmingham, Alabama. And I have been coaching for this is my fifth year of coaching. It's like my 5 year anniversary of coaching in August. I think it's going to be August 9th will be my 5 year anniversary. So I'm an accidental health coach, you guys. Like, I never in a million years ever had this on my bingo card. So just side note, if you think that you will never, ever be a health coach, do not count yourself out because I was the last person I would have ever thought was going to be a health coach. So I started program originally in 2019. Um, had a little bump in the road and quit, and then came back in 2020 and went all in with Optavia. And when I say all in, I went all in. I went all in on my changing my habits, getting into this community, not ghosting my coach, and about 20 pounds into my 45-pound loss. I had been on plan for about 6 weeks. My coach said, "Hey, do you want to coach with us?" And I was like, "Yeah, sounds like fun." Okay. Because I'm like a weird one who doesn't really think about it. I was just like, "Yeah, sure. What do we do?" Um, and that really closed the loop for me on my health journey, because I had to be even more accountable and I needed that extra accountability. Being a coach, I was working full time at the time. We owned a home building business, so it's not like I had all this extra time laying around. I mean, I'm a mom. He was 12. I have a son. He was 12 at the time. But I just said, yeah, sure, let's do it and see what happens. And it was the best decision I ever made. And I can honestly say that it helped me get to my goal weight, but also keep that off, like for the last 5 years. Because this community, like, you think that this part of the community is amazing. When you get into the coaching community, it's like even more amazing. So, just if your coach has told you you need to coach, just say okay. All right, because we've got you, and it'll be the best decision you ever made. We get to go on like fun trips. Megan and I were just talking beforehand about Vegas. We were just in Las Vegas together, and Lauren's on trips with us. I mean, we're having so much fun, and it really never feels like work. You'll meet the best friends you've ever had in your entire life and get healthy. And it's just really cool to be surrounded by healthy people, like from the inside out. It makes a huge difference in your life. Like, it's such a stark difference to what my life used to be 5 years ago to who my community is now. I wouldn't have it any other way. Okay, so I just want tonight to be kind of like we're just hanging out in our living room, drinking coffee and having like a real conversation. And I want you guys to really hear me when I say this. I know you just heard me say I've been on Optavia for 5 years, okay? Yes, I have been doing some sort of Optavia for 5 years. I've been on some sort of plan for 5 years. Have I been on 5-in-1 for 5 years? Absolutely not. I have been on 5-in-1, I've done 4-in-2, I've been in transition, and now I'm optimizing. And that looks a little bit different for everybody. But I think sometimes you guys see coaches on these calls and you think we never struggle or that we never have ever gained any ounce back, like any ounce of weight back at all. Okay. Well, that's just not true. So if you're a coach on here and you have ever struggled or gained your weight back, even if it was 1 pound, like put a one in the chat. If you've ever gone off plan, like if you're just not perfect, yes, every single coach on here is putting a one in the chat, okay? Because we're human too. And here's my story. So, like I said earlier, in 2019, I started Optavia. I lost 15 pounds really fast on Optavia. I ate the fuelings, and that is all I did. I did not talk to my coach. I did not get in the community and I quit and I gained it all back plus some. 2020 rolled around, May of 2020 rolled around. We all know what was going on then. It was COVID and We were all eating and drinking all of our feelings and sitting inside the house, and it was a different time, okay? Well, in 2020, I waved the white flag. I came back. I lost 32 pounds, okay? So I had 45 to really lose. I lost 32. I was in a healthy BMI at that time for my height and my age, and I maintained that for 3 years, I guess. And then perimenopause hit. I'm 43 now. So put a one in the chat or write connected if you can connect with perimenopause, the joys of perimenopause, okay? Yes, it's lovely. Perimenopause, hormones. I gained some weight back and I was like, didn't even feel like myself. I was like, what in the world's going on? So I doubled down on my protein. I quit alcohol. I got obsessed with yoga and walking for my mental health. And I went on to lose about 13 more pounds. And so I'm down 45 pounds. Okay. I know that the tools that I've been given on Optavia, like I'm confident that I know now how not to gain that back. Like I've learned so much about my body and just myself. Um, but here's the deal. I am still human, right? There's someone that's not on mute. I don't know who it is. Um, okay. I don't know. Oh, okay. I think we got her. Ruth, maybe? Ruth Justin, maybe? Hold on, guys. Sorry. I'm a mess when it comes to extra noises. Okay. So I'm still human. So, like, I still, even though I have done a lot of work on this program, I still want to eat the things. I still want to eat a little Debbie cake. I still want to eat Cheez-Its. I still want to eat Guthrie's chicken fingers. I still want to eat a Taco Bell Mexi Melt some days. I still want to eat the pizza. And sometimes, y'all, I do eat it. Okay. Like, just this week, like just yesterday, I had a full moon barbecue sandwich with the bun and the chocolate chip cookie, dipped cookie. Okay. If you're from Alabama, you know what I'm talking about, the full moon barbecue and the dipped chocolate chip cookie. Like, put a one in the chat if you know those cookies. Yeah, Stacy's like, yeah, those are good. But here's the deal. I didn't have the fries, and I also didn't use it as a loophole to just I'll start over Monday. Because the difference that I have learned through Optavia is the next thing I do is I just make the next best choice. That's it. I had the barbecue sandwich. And you guys, I'm in optimization. It's not like I'm 2 weeks in or one week into weight loss. Like, no, wasn't doing that then. But I'm in optimization and I've learned so much about myself. So after I had the barbecue sandwich and the chocolate chip cookie, I made my next best choice. A water and a fueling. Consistency is going to beat perfection every single time. So if you see your coach on here and they've been successful on Optavia, it is not because he or she has been perfect. It's just because we've been consistent. So let's talk real quick about summer coming to an end. Who is excited about summer coming to an end and who is not? I am not excited about summer coming to an end. Like I love summer. Tara Carter, you love it too, don't you? I see you shaking your head. Yeah, I love summer, but at the same like on the same token, like if you flip the coin over, I also love structure. Okay. And I can remember, so my son is 17 now, but I can remember every single summer being like, okay, when Mason goes back to school, I'm going to be on it. I'm going to be in the gym every day. I'm going to meal prep every day. I'm going to eat all those Pinterest recipes that I've been saving, all those healthy Pinterest recipes. I'm going to make every single one of those. I'm even going to do it for Mason. I'm going to even put them in these little bento boxes and I'm going to eat all organic. And do you know how well that went over for me? Like, not well at all because life happened. Okay. So thank goodness Optavia came into my life because it gave me the tools to not have to have that mindset every summer. Every summer, I've got to think about I'm going to be meal prepping because none of that ever worked. So if you've been a little loosey goosey over the summer, awesome. You have the tools to get your butt back on track. Get back on 5 and 1 and just keep going. Don't overthink it. Don't make it hard. You know what to do. Okay. So, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said, I'm human, and the last 2 weeks they've been hard for me. So I've had a lot of things bubble up to the surface, like old memories and I hate the word like trigger, but things that have kind of brought back some old things that really had my old coping mechanisms wanting to creep back in. Okay. Old patterns, which old patterns are there for a long time. Okay. We really have to work on changing them. And it was stuff that used to knock me out of the game every single time. But here's the thing, I didn't cave. I wasn't perfect, but I didn't quit either. And what I want you to hear is life, and I know that you know this, but sometimes we just have to hear it from someone else again. Life doesn't stop being messy just because you started eating better and changing your habits, right? Life is always going to be messy. Life is going to always life, okay? And here's what I learned, and it sounds so logical, but the cupcakes, the drive-through runs to Zaxby's to get the Zaxby's nibblers and say, "Oh, I'm just getting a kid's meal," but then I'm gonna hide the wrappers and go eat a full dinner after this. The Taco Bell Mexi Melt wrappers I used to hide in my car and then still go have the full dinner. Like none of that was going to fix any of life's messiness. It's not going to fix your divorce. It's not going to fix your abusive relationship. It's not going to fix the mistakes you made. It's not going to bring your loved one back. It's not going to make your child or your grandchild's diagnosis go away. It's not going to solve your loved one's mental health struggles. It's not going to heal your partner's porn addiction, alcohol addiction, prescription medication addiction. It's not going to make the jerk faced kids that are bullying your kid at school any nicer. And it's not going to make their parents know better. It's not going to clear your financial stress or your credit card debt or the back taxes you owe or the overdraft fee that you just got on your account. Food is going to give you a distraction only for a minute. It's going to numb you only for a minute. It's going to give you the illusion of control. But choosing the cupcake or the Cheez Its or the little nibbler from Zaxby's and hiding the wrapper in your car or at the gas station trash can is not going to move you forward. It's only going to make all of those other really messy situations even harder because at the end of the day, you're going to get caught in that same shame spiral again. Your pants are not going to fit. And that is going to be one more thing for you to have to worry about. And it's going to suck. So put in a one in the chat if you are a fixer, which I feel like a lot of us are, especially coaches. If you have always felt like you had to be the fixer for everyone and everything, lots and lots of ones. Yes, I see you, my fellow fixers. I know a lot of you fellow fixers personally. Okay, textbook codependency at its best. And this happens when you grew up in chaos or any form of addiction from a loved one, and you learn to put yourself last. You learn to overcompensate. And I think over these last 5 years, through Optavia, I have finally come to learn where a lot of my fixer tendencies come from that had me turning to food to distract me from the dysfunction that I was living in. And that food gave me the illusion of control when things were so out of control. So these memories, they pop up from time to time, okay? And these were some of the things that kind of boiled up to the surface that I honestly had forgotten about, but something must have happened to kind of bring them back to the surface, which means I still needed to deal with them, right? Like I needed to deal with them and not stuff them. And if you're from the South, I'm from Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. If you're from the South, you know, we don't really talk about things like this that happen to us. We just brush it under the rug with a casserole and a little humor. Okay. But a few of the things that kind of resurfaced for me this week that used to have me running to food to cope was so I grew up in a family of very strong women, but they also struggled with depression and alcoholism. My mother and my grandmother both. And I remember, and I love them, but they've both passed now. I love them dearly. Like, they taught me so much about life. Um, But I remember my mother specifically being, she was drunk, and we were coming home from one of her friends' houses, like midnight. I'm 12 years old. She was driving us on the wrong side of the road, and I had to tell her to pull over, and I had to drive us home. And I was 12, so I had to become an adult really fast. That same year, we found my grandmother, so my mother's mother, my grandmother in her front yard going through what's the word, we call them DTs. I don't know if that's like the technical term or not, but she was going through alcohol withdrawal, and she was trying to commit suicide. And we found her in the yard and had to take her to be committed. And all of that for some reason came up in my brain this week. And my mother also went, I mean, if you've been on any of these calls, you may or may not know, but my mother also went to prison. And so all of this is coming up, and I am reading through her journal that I found. And so maybe that's why. But it brought me back to being a 12-year-old, having to carry all of this weight and not knowing what to do with it, like this mental weight. And I can vividly see myself in the kitchen making copious amounts of huge sheet pans of Rice Krispie treats with chocolate chips in them, and like literally eating the entire pan, because that gave me a sense of comfort, because I had no idea how to manage the emotions I was feeling. And at that time, that's all I knew what to do. And you guys, that gift kept on giving in my 20s and 30s. And luckily, praise the Lord, I